cool city state of Nigeria. This morning, we will be looking at a very, very, if you say, controversial topic, if you like, emotional topic, if you like, a topic that is at the heart of Ndigbo. So, this is a program where we actually step beyond surface narratives and look closely at the world, our nation, and our democracy. So this conversation cuts across justice, federal relations, regional security, and political stability. Let's just do a background. Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, has been a central figure in the agitation for self-determination in Southeast, if you like, Ndigbo. His arrest, detention, and multiple court cases, and now the pronouncement of a life sentence, have sparked reactions across political, social, religious, and security lines. And so today's conversation focuses on the highly important issue, Nnamdi Kanu's life sentence, implications to the security and politics of Ndigbo. To walk us through this analysis is our guest, not just a guest of importance, however you want to look at it. Because one time in this country, he was the presidential candidate for the National Conscious Party of Nigeria. He is a fearless political analyst. He's a man who had laid his life for democracy to survive. He is Chief Martin Onovo. Chief, good morning.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to have you.
I'm glad to be here. I'm very glad.
Yes,
to be
you know it's not always easy to catch you. And so each time you come into the cold states, media ops want to make the best use of you. So thank you for availing of your time.
Thank you very much.
The life sentence handed to Nnamdi Kanu has generated significant debate and range of reactions. Various Igbo groups and leaders warning of severe consequences for the Southeast region and Ndigbo as a whole. What are the perceived implications for Ndigbo? The first is several Igbo organizations, including the Movement for the Actualization of the Sovereign State of Biafra, MASOB, and a former ex-president, named withheld, interpreted the sentence not just as a verdict against an individual, but as a judgment against the entire Igbo. Another foundation, the Kega Abiyama dynasty, warned that the life sentence could become the single greatest catalyst for heightened insecurity and stability in the Southeast region due to the potential unrest from his followers. The sentence has been framed by some as underscoring the injustice and marginalization faced by Ndigbo within Nigeria, potentially galvanizing the separatist movement and amplifying calls for a referendum on Biafra. And of course, people have called for a political solution. So in response to this verdict, leaders in the Southeast are ready for a political solution to the crisis, urging the government to engage in dialogue rather than relying solely on judicial process to prevent further tension and address the core grievances of the Igbo people. However, some people talk about legal recourse and international attention. Kanu's legal team and supporting groups like the World Igbo Congress have denounced the verdict and are pursuing an immediate appeal aiming to challenge the decision in High Court. They also hope that the case, now seen by some as political imprisonment, will draw international attention to the plight of Ndigbo. But surprisingly, Chief, some discussions on social media indicate that there are different opinions within the Igbo community itself, with some accusing fellow Igbos of working against Kanu's release, suggesting a degree of internal political complexity and disagreement on the best way forward. The situation remains dynamic, with the legal battle far from over, and a deep sense of a continuous struggle for justice and self-determination pervading the discussions among Ndigbo. To our viewers, thank you for joining us. Stay on Beyond the Headlines, as we do what? We'll throw some questions to Chief. Chief, when you heard the verdict. Life sentence. It even a proviso. No device, no electronic equipment. In almost a secluded imprisonment. And there's now rumors that he's been moved from Abuja to somewhere in Sokoto or is in Meduguri or whatever. The reason I just go visit the Sambisa forest. So when you heard of that verdict, having been an agitator for true democracy, true justice, how did you feel?
The first thing, I was not surprised. It could not surprise me. I don't know why anybody is surprised. I think our people just wake up lazily and try to understand situations. It's better if you follow a matter and then you're able to understand it better. Somebody like Mr. Showore had publicly, many weeks before, alleged that there was a script and an unjust agenda to convict Nnamdi Kanu. That's what was in the public domain. So what they did was confirm his allegation. That's all. Because if you look at the allegation he made, it was verbatim. What he said they had decided to do. But that's one. I think the matter is exaggerated. In fact, not just exaggerated, over-exaggerated. This is a high court judgment. Nobody can alter the fact that it's a political matter. Nobody. It's a high court judgment. It is subject to review at the appeal court and, if necessary, at the Supreme Court. And that same appeal court had previously discharged the same Nnamdi Kanu. I think that Showore had a right perspective on the matter. In fact, not what I think. I think that the facts have confirmed that he had a right perspective on the matter and that there was an unjust agenda. And then use it to buy political favor. So it's a 2027 gimmick. I think that is very credible because it's been exposed. The facts validate it. And I've given some of the facts.
Yeah, but I said Mr. President couldn't have unilaterally while the matter was in court.
No, you how can you say that?
Okay, how could he have done that?
No.
How could he have done that?
There is
for the benefit of our listeners.
There is not a prosecuting law. It's valid law.
Okay, by
and it's been used many times.
Attorney General.
Yes, it's valid. What is the purpose of providing for a knowledge prosecution? It's for political and national security imperatives. It's for political and national security.
They didn't go that route.
That's what I'm saying now, because there's a calculation. So it's a political matter. I don't know why people are exaggerating this matter. Awolowo was sentenced in 1962. He had a worse case than Nnamdi Kanu. Much worse. Because you had people in court, both from his side and from the government side, who testified that they were planning armed insurrection. So he had a much worse case. So I don't know. It's this level of degradation in society that will make people over alarmed. Oh, there's sentence in Nnamdi Kanu. What's that? Okay. This is minor. This is politics.
Okay.
This is the normal game.
Let's look at the Southeast. Of course, on account of Nnamdi Kanu, so to speak, that for those who support him, who believe in him, who believe he's been unjustly detained as a Jew then before his sentencing. The Southeast has experienced pockets of arrest linked to separatist agitation. With this sentence now in place, do you foresee escalation or de-escalation of these tensions?
Well, I don't. That's why I said the people can be misled. People can be misled. You've been in public office. You have a PhD. So you have a deeper perspective on many issues than the ordinary people. The ordinary people can easily be misled. So I'm saying that this matter is over-exaggerated. To me, this is normal, routine politics. It's only that the people playing on the government side are so incompetent they couldn't play well. So Showore was able to outmaneuver them. Nnamdi Kanu was able to outmaneuver them.
So who is the pawn?
So then they're not smart.
So this chessboard, who is now the pawn?
Well, in a chessboard, I don't think there's a pawn here, unless you want to say Awolowo was the pawn in 1962. No, I don't see any pawn. There's a game going on, and the Ndigbo, especially the supporters of Nnamdi Kanu, I am neither against Nnamdi Kanu nor do I support him. Do I believe the Southeast is marginalized? I think even the blind know that. Do I think the tactics adopted by Nnamdi Kanu is the best? I don't think so. Is it wrong? No. And he has a right to his tactics. Has a right to the tactics he chooses. Why must he choose my own tactics? My own tactics is that the Southeast has been oppressed with political power. If we get the political power, we will not oppress ourselves. So when it is our turn, we take the political power using the right person, and then we will not. And that's why I went to run for president. Because when you put justice everywhere, justice is the foundation. So when you put justice everywhere, that's when you can have national unity and cohesion. And then nobody will be marginalized.
I like your idea that this is politics.
It is politics.
It is politics. So let's look at the political dimension. How does this sentence shape the Southeast political alliance ahead of 2027? Will this sentence deepen feelings of marginalization? Or what should political leaders from this region do at this moment?
Well, do you have any political leaders in the region now? That's a very difficult question. I'm not sure I can answer it simply and categorically. I think there's a lot of division.
The Southeast?
Yes, I think there's a lot of division. Even in hip hop, we know how difficult it became for us to checkmate Simon Ekpa and his brigandage. So, luckily that's out of the scene now. Nnamdi Kanu, for example, and his hip hop have a philosophy of non-violence, which I find to be formidable and superior. They have morality and legality on their side because the United Nations Charter provides for the right to self-determination. So it's a universal right. And that is where they have anchored their struggle. So even if they are using tactics different from what I prefer, I have to respect the morality and the legality of their own position. I think this is simple politics, and I think that emotion and alarm, in fact, undue alarm, is not productive in this context. It is a game, you play, you adopt suitable strategies. As you progress, you update your strategies. It's that simple. And emotion will only push you to take probably less effective and efficient decisions and positions. So it's simple. You assess the situation as it is properly, not by exaggerating or over-exaggerating anything. Determine the possible routes to achieve your objectives. Make your assessment and adopt your best strategy and progress on it. It's simple. I don't see the alarm everywhere. There's no need for this alarm.
Okay.
Sorry, maybe I should add, because people might say Awolowo case is an isolated case. In politics, people get imprisoned. So if you're in politics, you expect that you can be imprisoned.
You go the way there.
So let me even go on the national scale. Obasanjo, one of the greatest African statesmen, he was imprisoned by Abacha. It's politics. Buhari was detained by Babangida. So it looks like even if you are not detained, maybe that's why I'm not president. Maybe because I've not been detained. So why are people who say you're not the guy Abiola? So this thing is straightforward. This is politics. So anybody who is over exaggerating is because the younger people are not disciplined to learn properly.
Okay.
And then they easily get emotional. You have to be cold and calculating.
Politics or not, the Southeast already had lost confidence and trust in the federal government. This has deepened the mistrust that our people have on the federal government.
Let me disagree with you.
Which one?
It's not that what you said is wrong,
Uh,
but I think you particularize it.
okay, just
The whole Nigeria has lost trust in the government. Katsina, Professor Yusuf from Katsina.
it can't be the whole Nigeria because there are still some people supporting president.
No, the whole Nigeria. What do you mean by the whole Nigeria? The overwhelming majority.
Now, but when you say the whole, it means even the president says.
Professor Usman Yusuf is from Katsina.
Okay.
Eh, he said that insecurity in Katsina is the highest thing.
We're going to come to that.
So
Let's conclude this.
It's not a Southeast thing.
Let's conclude this Nnamdi Kanu case. Now, what would be your recommendations to the federal government going forward on how to restore the semblance of trust by Ndigbo? What would be your recommendation for Hanese Ndigbo as a pan? Many say they don't seem to know what they have done concretely in this Nnamdi's case. And now for our political actors, well, let me look at the leaders because you just...
Yes, I questioned it.
So let me call the political actors. So what concrete steps must be taken, at least to restore a bit of trust?
No, the first thing is to have a clear understanding of the situation. And how do you do that? We get the stakeholders to do a review, either formally or informally, because the perspective of one person naturally will not be comprehensive. The perspective of one person. That's the same thing we do in professional work. In professional work, one professional will develop, another professional will review, another professional will approve. Because the perspective of one person is normally very limited. So you do a broad review. You determine what are the exact situation, not the sensational headlines. What is that? Sentence. Was I just spent how many years in prison? From prison to president. Politics! He came out of prison and became president. So it's lack of knowledge that makes people over exaggerate. They say, oh, he has been sentenced. Oh, what is all this? It's a game. Let's play it. But it's not a game that Chief Dr. Anyuke will go and play alone. No. He's severely constrained and limited as one person. And he's not playing against one person. So he puts himself in a disadvantage if he goes and plays against 100 people alone. So, when you're talking about the Igbo question in Nigeria, the highest density of Igbo people is in the Southeast. So the Southeast will provide leadership for the Igbo question. But from my perspective, I believe in the universal brotherhood of all men. No exception. So, I believe that the universal rights of all men in Nigeria, in Kenya, in the USO should be guaranteed. And I think that historically the world has done some work on that. And I think that on those bases, you can establish justice that everybody, every reasonable person can accept, or standards of justice that every reasonable person can accept. Because if you look at the Nigerian Constitution, for example, it provides for all these things. It provides for freedom from discrimination. So if you discriminate against me because I'm Yoruba, or because I'm Igbo, or because I'm Tiv, the Constitution forbids that. So, but because we have allowed the lawless to prevail, we now have a dysfunctional society where the forbidden is normal. But otherwise, look at the Constitution, I think it's section 36. You cannot discriminate against a Nigerian. So I think that if anyone in the Southeast thinks he's discriminated against and feels sufficiently provoked about it, you can use the law. But the reality in Nigeria is that everybody is discriminated against. I saw the video of the wife of the Brigadier General who was killed.
Yes, I was going to come to that on the second part of this.
And she said the life of a bandit is worth more than the life of a soldier. So do you think she's not discriminated against? How can she make such a deep statement? It's because she feels discriminated
I
against.
want to hold that thought, and I want us to end this part of Nnamdi Kanu.
Let us not panic about Nnamdi Kanu. This is regular. This
Yes.
is normal. And I thank God he left in high spirit.
Yeah, I think he did.
Looking at the video in court,
Yes.
it also seems to me that he understands the game. He left in high spirit.
So, Chief, on this segment, I want to thank you for your very in-depth analysis. We've got a short break. We'll come back. We'll talk about Nigeria, and then perhaps bring the issue of the wife of slain Brigadier General and other issues. Several schools have been shot in Katsina, in Kaduna, in several places, and of course, the issue of threat by Trump to bomb Nigeria and the rest. So don't go anywhere. We'll come back and then we'll have more.